Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Unfiltered at the Salon. So lately we have had some amazing guests on the show, and this week I wanted to switch things up a little bit. We are going to do a Q&A. So last week on my stories, I put out ask me anything that you'd like answered on the podcast, and you guys gave me some good ones. So, let's get started. All right, first question. Tips for having full and healthy hair, lifestyle supplements, hair products. So, obviously, first off, I'm going to say hair extensions. That should be a given. So, with a lot of my clients, I find that their hair grows and gets healthier while wearing extensions. You can have great hair while wearing extensions. And then if you decide to take them out, most of the time you'll find that your hair has gotten a little longer and healthier. So that would be my number one. I have tried collagen in the past. That's something that I'm not currently taking, but I did find that did help. It's not something I would recommend long term, but that is something that you could try. I just used like a powder that I put in my shake every morning. Another one, so hair products. We offer Isles formula at the salon. We love that product. It is amazing for your hair, but products are not a one size fits all. So, one product's not going to work for everybody's hair type. So really just finding like what works for you and sticking with it. Sometimes switching things up a little bit with hair products too. Like if you're using something long term, you might find it's not working as well anymore. So in that case, time to switch things up. But right now we are loving the Isles formula products. The last thing I'm going to say about that is obviously like lifestyle. Personally, I've found since I've been, working out and eating very healthy, I've found my density of my hair has gotten, a little thicker and my hair has gotten a little longer. So I think just paying attention to really what you're putting in your body really does help too. So, all right, question number 2. This is another hair question. So how do you manage your 26-inch extensions and what is your favorite way to style them? Okay, so you would think 26-inch extensions, my hair is very long. So you would think it would be difficult to manage, but honestly, like you really do get used to it very quickly. Like it is worth the little extra time it takes to blow dry and style. My favorite way to style them right now for summertime, I've loved straight and I love using my beach waver. But in the wintertime, I typically go more towards like the curl or the bouncy blowout look. I don't really know why that is. That just seems to be, the way I do it. So those are my favorite way to style my hair. I do like styling it up sometimes too, but I really do love it down. All right. Another hair question. So, do you have any clients who have 26-inch extensions? Like, have you ever done 26-inch extensions on any clients? And if not, what's the longest length you've done? So, no, I don't have any clients who have ever done 26 inches. The longest I've done is 24 inches. And I think I have one client right now who wears 24s, but mostly it's 18s and 22s. But I would love to do 26-inch extensions on somebody. So if you want 26-inch extensions, send me a message because I would love to do it. Like I love, love, love long hair. All right. So, fourth question, what are some of your guilty pleasures? Okay, this one made me think. Obviously, I don't know, if you know me, you know I need my Starbucks every single day. Like I will come into town just to get Starbucks, even if I don't need to do anything else in town. So that's like my number one guilty pleasure. Probably my second guilty pleasure would be that I can go months without watching TV. Like I can go months without even turning my TV on. But then I will binge watch a show or two. Like I will go home and I will just like binge watch a show for like a week or two, and then I won't turn my TV on again for months. So I know that sounds weird, but I don't know. That's I guess a guilty pleasure of mine too. Okay. So, what is your biggest insecurity? All right. So, you probably won't believe this, but putting myself out there on social media and even like starting this podcast was is my biggest insecurity. And you wouldn't think it now, but I used to be like painfully shy. So, putting myself out there really, I felt very insecure at first. Now that I have done it more, I'm way more comfortable in front of the camera. But putting yourself out there to basically be judged is really hard. And if you've ever done it, you know what I'm talking about. Um, but once you do it and once you're consistent with it, it does get a lot easier. So I would say that's probably my biggest insecurity. All right. So, question number 6. Why did you start this podcast? So, back in the spring, um, okay, actually, a few years ago, I was like, I think it would be so cool to start a podcast, but I didn't know what that looked like. It was just kind of like a thought I had in my mind, like, oh, it would be so cool to start one. I didn't know what I would want it to be about, but like I listened to a lot of podcasts and I was like, I would love to do this someday. And then back in the springtime, I had just this feeling like, okay, you need to do this now. And it was like something I couldn't ignore. So one day I just kind of started thinking like, okay, what would I want this to even be about? And I have really like real conversations with my clients in the chair. And I was like, you know what? Sometimes those conversations I feel like other people need to hear to like help them. Like it's nice to know that other people are going through what you're going through. And even though I don't go like into specifics, obviously on like the conversations and everything, I kind of wanted the podcast to be about like anything and everything we talk about in the chair. So yeah, I mean, I just started kind of building that out. I ordered the equipment. I mean, this all kind of took place over like a month or two before I started recording. Um, and I was so scared. Like I was like, I've never done this before. Right now I do all my own editing, which is a lot of work, but I just feel like fills me up. Like I feel so passionate about it. And every time I do one, I just like love it. And I hope that like it adds value because that's what this is all about. So yeah, I mean, in a nutshell, it's just a feeling that I had like I need to do this and I don't know what that looks like yet. But now that it's been going a few months, I'm starting to see why this needed to happen and why it's been placed on my heart to do this. So it kind of rolls into the last question, but there is one other question first. So, what is one of your biggest mindset shifts? Okay, this one really made me think because I have like a lot of mindset shifts that I use like on a daily basis. But the number one mindset shift I think that is so important is like getting out of a lack mindset. Like when something bad happens to you, so let's just say you end a relationship or you maybe like lose your job, something bad that happens to you, you may think like, I'm never going to find someone again. I'm never going to find another job. But getting out of that lack mindset, like, and thinking, okay, what is this trying to teach me? I think that is like the biggest thing that, there's always going to be somebody else. You might not think it in the moment, but just thinking like, okay, what is this trying to teach me? What can I learn from this? And what is this like redirecting me towards? So I think when you start to get down on yourself over something and just reframing that into like, what is this trying to teach me? I think that's like one of the biggest mindset shifts you can have. Also, something I've started doing recently is just like romanticizing your life. Like even the smallest things that you do every single day that you kind of don't even like realize you're doing. It's kind of like autopilot. Just kind of like romanticizing that. Like when you go get your go get your cup of coffee. Like, okay, this is so good. Like this is the best cup of coffee I've ever had. Or like, even work, like going into work, like just looking forward to these little things every single day, because life is truly a gift and you really need to treat it like a gift. So that has been another big one for me lately, just finding gratitude in every little thing, and just romanticizing it. All right. So the last question that I got was, what would you be doing if you didn't do hair? Okay. So ask me 6 months ago and I wouldn't have had an answer for you. Like, I love doing hair. I really look forward to like seeing my clients every day. So this is just something recently where, okay, like I do have an answer now, and it would be coaching other women in mindset and lifestyle. It's something that like is a new passion of mine. Like I said before, like I have a lot of mindset shifts that I use every day. I have a lot of daily habits that are really important to me. So I think just teaching other women these things are so valuable, and they really, stacking them up, you really create a life that you're in love with. So I don't know, the thought of coaching has become like a new passion of mine, I guess. So that might be something that you see in the future as something I'm doing kind of on the side. There might be something in the works already. Not something I've launched yet, but the thought of it like really excites me, and I just know that there's like so much value in this. And like I said, the little things that stack up every single day for big results. So yeah, I guess just be on the lookout for that. But obviously, hair is my number one passion. So yeah, that is the questions that I had gotten. And I loved seeing those. Like, I love seeing your feedback. If you ever have any questions for me, send me a message. And even if you just want to chat about something that you heard on the podcast, I love that. So definitely reach out. So yeah, that is it for today's episode. We'll do another Q&A probably in a few months. So be thinking about those questions. Like I said, if you have one right now, just send it to me and let me know. So that wraps up another episode of Unfiltered at the Salon. Until next time, see you then.